Hey guys, welcome back to another Minecraft video. This time we're looking at the texture pack JammerCraft 64. Let me just say, starting off here, that I'm completely blown away. I will put a link in the description below for your enjoyment, so you can go check it out as well. But I'm absolutely in love with this pack. It's so realistic, but doesn't require anything extra. Like, you don't need forge or anything loaded for it to work, which is wonderful, I think, just in my opinion. Here we have Squishy again hanging out with us. So let's get started. Have our oak wood here. Looks very nice. And I'll say all these textures are pretty realistic, so I won't mention that every time, but just to let you know. Then we have spruce wood. I really like the color on that. Birchwood, nice and white, and that just looks so much like a real birchwood tree. It's just crazy. We've got jungle wood here. Would have liked to see that a little bit different color on the actual planks, but that's okay. The acacia wood, and then our dark wood, which I think looks really well. That looks a lot like the floors you'd have in like a hardwood floor home, which I think is really neat. This pack is described as a modern pack, which you'll see even more later on. So we have cobblestone here on top, looks like traditional masonry. Stone bricks, or stone, and then stone bricks, also looks very nice and clean cut. I think that's one thing I love about these textures, is that they do look very clean and good. And here you have your glass block and your glass panes, just very simple design here. Just, you know, the black outline. I think it would have looked a little better with a little bit reflection, but it looks nice. And here we have our regular white wool, our iron fence, which looks like a chain link fence. They've done very well. Some of the textures are a little disconnected looking, but other than that, I like it a lot. Now onto our ores. Here is redstone. Well, it looks like tiles that you could use like your house if you wanted to. I like that a lot. Here's a lapis. The diamond. I love this shatter thing. I don't know how they did that, but it looks great. I think it looks really neat, like at the top of a diamond. It looks very cool. And we have next our quartz. Have our gold. Looks like gold blocks stacked up here, which is very neat. Iron, and this looks actually like those like pleated floors that you'll see in some places. I like the look of that. I don't know so much about the ore color. It looks a little different than I'd expect, but not bad. Just the color a little bit. Here we have our coal, and then emerald. Also got that shiny top like an emerald wood, which I just absolutely love. It looks amazing. Can let you do a lot of things, especially with the diamond. You could use that like a shattered mirror and like adventure maps. It's like that. Here we have our obsidian that almost looks like snake scales. Looks very cool. Stained clay, just plain white stained clay, very white. It's the color of the regular clay that you'd find, you know, normally. Got our hay here that looks very, very nice. Our TNT, Swarny Explosives. I guess that is a good thing. Whoa, is this side actually backwards? Interesting. That's a lot of attention to detail. I appreciate that. That's very cool. Here's our wooden door. Doesn't really look wooden, but it does look nice. Would have like maybe more of a wooden color, but it doesn't look bad at all. And here's our iron door. Looks like a nice safe door to use. Here is our enchantment table. Very simple, very nice, except the detail on the book. Like, look at all the pages. As you can see as they're flipping, they're all different pages, which is crazy. Anyway, that's amazing. Here's our ender chest. That is such a gorgeous color for the inside of that chest. Our anvil, same gorgeous, gorgeous color. Jukebox. You can now have a real stereo, or well, real looking stereo. I find it interesting that looks almost like a turntable, but then with speakers attached, unlike, you know, the big horn ones, which I think would be amazing. Got our furnace. Looks like a oven here. And your crafting table actually looks like a desk or a drawer, which I think just the attention to detail here on the top, where you can see a few little things like laying around the room. I think that's a really cool detail to add. Here are what your chests look like, as well as food item sprites and your basic items and everything. Again, armor wasn't really changed in this one from what I saw. And your cake, of course, bunches of ice cream and cherries on top, which sounds delicious. to me in our simple root bed. And I'm sure you've noticed by now the grass, which is just the most vibrant, prettiest green I've ever seen. Here we have our ladder, which I love how the color is so almost so different than the rest of the packs, but in a spectacular way. And here we have our melon. I like that they continued the texture on top. I've seen some that don't. I really like how that looks. As well as our pumpkin here. I don't know where our second pumpkin went. Didn't break it. I have no idea. Oh well. The tilled dirt here looks very cool. I like the extra lines in it and everything. Looks very neat. And the vines for the pumpkin and the melons, they just look so intricate, like with the leaves and everything. I think there's a really great job done. Here is your wheat. And all of your flowers is so pretty. Just so much detail in all of these. And I like how the tulips aren't the same. Like they're not just, you know, changing the color, they change how they look. I really like the color on this one, that orange and yellow, just very pretty. And you've got all of our other flowers here. And the double high grass, the sunflower, which looks spectacular. I don't know if I would have put these leaves cutting through here if it's supposed to. And that's just how it's happening. It looks a little odd, but overall I like it. The regular grass, dead grass, and the fern here. If you look real closely on these dirt blocks, you can see the vines here. Actually put one right there so you can see the pattern a little better. It is nice. Could be better. Like they're a little broken up. But like on textures like this, against the darkness of like the dirt, you can't really tell, so it's not too big of a deal. You can kind of see it there in my hand too. And then we've got our rail cart. It looks like a mini subway car, which is kind of adorable, if I may say so myself. I almost expect people to be walking around in there. And here is the rail tracks, very pretty, like how the red stands out against everything. And then we have our redstone, which I don't like that redstone powered and unpowered look the same. I mean, I get the reason behind it. I do. Like, it's that way you can have the same textures regardless. But it would make it a little confusing when trying to see what's working and what's not, because there's no change at all. So there's that, unfortunately. But that's okay. And then you can, you could always go in and edit it just slightly so that there's a difference. That's up to you. And here's our normal torches. Look almost like those little street lights. They're just getting overrun by slimes over here. So I put the fence up so they couldn't mess anything up. And then here we have our lava. It's very pretty orange color. And then our water, just very serene looking. I definitely enjoy that. And then, as always, we will go look at the town real quick. Should build us a rail station between the two. Actually show you the sheep real quick. They look pretty normal. Same with the cowsies over there. And these horses. They look fairly normal as well. And the pigs. There's more and more animals spawning in this world. As you can see, this all just looks absolutely spectacular. All put together. It does have a much more modern look. A more polished look, I would say, than default Minecraft. But it is extremely pretty. And see the emerald sprite there? It's absolutely gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. So that is the... Dang, they all want emerald trades. Is that just like default in a flat world? Because you never get that in real Minecraft. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. That is basically all there is to it. I will be back next time with a new pack. Again, if you do want to check out this one, there will be a link in the description below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a rating if you feel like I deserve it. It definitely helps out a lot. Well, I will see you next time. You have a wonderful day. Okay, bye.